Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a really quick video here. This is going to be a response to Christian over at CGC Vinyl Guy. I believe that's correct. You said something a little different, I think, in your video, but I was assuming that the name that's actually on your channel, that's the one I used here. So if you've changed that or I got that wrong or something, let me know. But I believe it's CGC Vinyl Guy. I guess he's kind of new to the VC and had just kind of asked us about sharing some of our soundtracks. I mean, just general some of our favorite soundtracks. So yeah, I just want to shoot a quick video here for you and kind of share with you what some of my favorites are. And really the way that I decided to approach it is, I don't have a gigantic soundtrack section. It's decent size, don't get me wrong. These are all my soundtracks here. And then as far as CDs, I have soundtracks, just some that I have up there. And then down here, basically kind of these two rows right there in the center are, kind of more soundtracks. But soundtracks definitely have a ton of meaning to me because the one thing that makes soundtracks so golden are the 80s. All those 80s movies that I love so much, like those soundtracks are just so far beyond golden to me, it's not even funny. Which, as you can see, is why I have my soundtrack section tab that way, where I have just a general soundtracks tab. Then I have one that says, why the 80s, you ask? And basically what goes behind that tab are just specifically the 80s movies that are just so magical to me, and those are all the soundtracks that I listen to the most, and just the ones that put the biggest smile on my face because of what it represents and the memories that it brings back from the 80s movies that I love so much. And so when I think about all of that, it's like, someone, well, why the 80s? It's like, well, let me show you what's behind this tab. And for me personally, this is what made the 80s so magical for me. So even in the other sections here, there are 80s soundtracks in here without question, and great ones too. If you think about stuff like Christine, Cobra, so like awesome 80s movies. But again, these just tend to be the movies that were just so awesome to me. So I thought what I would do, when you asked about some of our favorites, I thought I would just kind of go through and share what I have in the why 80s, you ask, just to kind of give you an idea of what my absolute favorite soundtracks are. Alright. So Conan the Barbarian. Really the one thing that turned me on the classical music in any way, shape, or form, and this soundtrack is absolutely fantastic. I'll try not to spend a ton of time on each one because you guys probably know most of them anyway. The Lost Boys, another just legendary soundtrack with songs like Cry Little Sister. Spring Break, maybe one of the lesser known, I don't know if it's necessarily like a B-level movie or not, but it was definitely one of the ones that I watched so many times growing up. And another really good soundtrack. The title track, Spring Break, was done by Cheap Trick. And then there was a group in the movie called Hot Date, which did a couple tracks on here. And the song Do It To You was one of my favorites from that. So another just kind of great classic 80s movies. Risky Business, you guys know that one. DC Cab, another fantastic one. Urban Cowboy, even as popular as that one is, just such an underrated soundtrack. Just so many fantastic things on there with like an amazing cover of Looking for Love, and Devil Went Down to Georgia by Charlie Daniels Band, Lion Eyes by the Eagles. Just all kinds of great stuff on there. Eddie and the Cruisers, just one of the best, just pure rock and roll soundtracks. Amazing. Dirty Dancing, everyone knows. Better Off Dead, fantastic again. Two of my favorite songs, or actually my favorite song off of this is Arrested by You by Rupert Hines. It's just one of my all-time defining 80s movies tracks. The Last Dragon, another just awesome movie. Iron Eagle, of course. One Vision by Queen, and Road of the Gypsy by, just again, awesome stuff. Earth Girls Are Easy. Has some just again good classic 80s stuff there. Tough Enough. Again, one of those movies that I think might be considered a little more of a B movie. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but Just some, again, fantastic stuff on there, including a track that was done specifically by wait, what's that? Blah 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 blah. We'll see. Well, I was Born a Dreamer was done by Mickey Gilley, which was a fantastic track. But there was another one. Oh, Rainbows Never Touch the Ground, which was actually performed by Dennis Quaid. One where the actor actually performed the track, and it's pretty darn good. Streets of Fire. Man, you ever want to see me get pumped up when I'm driving down the highway? You just let the song Nowhere Fast come on, and I mean, I'm just like, blood just gets boiling. Love that. Grease 2, arguably the greatest 80s soundtrack of all time. Love every track on it. Love the movie 10 times as much as I love Grease, and just arguably, again, my favorite 80s soundtrack right there. Crush Groove, fantastic mixture of a lot of the people, the guys and the gals that were on top in the hip-hop world back in the early 80s. Just One of the Guys, again, amazing tracks on there. Tonight You're Mine by Ronnie Spector, just one of those just 8 defining 80s songs for me right there, and just love that movie. Goonies, of course, Cyndi Lauper, all that great stuff. Gotcha, another fantastic one. Hilarious movie if you haven't seen it for any reason. Top Gun, Places in the Heart, another just really fantastic movie. I don't know if you guys remember that one or not. A number of different versions of Cotton Eye Joe that's just really, really awesome on that. I remember just hearing it in the background of the movie when I was a kid, just thinking it was fantastic. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. This is just a single to Invincible, which is the theme song to The Legend of Billie Jean, my girl Pat Benatar. Heavenly Kid, I mean, again, just 80s defining music for me right there, with stuff like She's Heartless and the title track, Heavenly Kid, Out on the Edge, done by Jude Cole. I mean, just, again, fantastic defining track. Karate Kid 3, another great one. I think this is the one, I always get those confused, but this is one with Listen to Your Heart. Listen to Your Heart by the Little River Band. Again, just very, very defining track from that movie. Revenge of the Nerds, of course. Pretty in Pink, of course. Porky's Revenge, another classic series from the 80s. I guess you guys can't see it, but I just have like the biggest smile on my face the entire time I'm doing this. Vision Quest, you got Change by John Waite, Only the Young by Journey. Dio's on here, Sammy Hagar, all kinds of great stuff. Rad definitely takes me back to my BMX days. Send Me an Angel, another just defining song for me going into the 80s. Rappin', one of the most horrible movies ever made, but still just one of those fantastic, put a smile on my face type of movies. It starred Mario Van Peebles. I'm sorry, this camera's not focusing that well there. And it was like one of those. It was almost like a musical kind of thing, where it was kind of a tough inner city thing that's going on, but everyone seems to be fairly happy most of the time. And everything they did, they did it by rapping. So conversations that they would have, and even like battles that they would have, and everything, it was all done through this horrible rapping. And it was early in the days of rap music, and of course Mario Van Peebles or none of the other actors were rappers, and so it's absolutely horrible. But there's some really just fun songs on here to me. Golly G is probably my favorite off of this one, but really, really good stuff. Rhinestone, hilarious. If you have not seen this movie before, you have to check it out. Sylvester Stallone was just funny as can be. The Rockies, of course, those are kind of givens. You guys know what makes those fabulous. Rodney Dangerfield, Back to School. The title track, Back to School, which I believe was also sang by Jude Cole, who was the one that did Out on the Edge from The Heavenly Kid. So he has a number of different things in some awesome 80s movies. Weird Science, 12-inch single. Over the Top, of course, with Loggins and so many other great things on that. Tough Turf. And again, this might be considered one of the B movies, but another one that's just kind of really defining for me. Of course, National Lampoon's Vacation, Holiday Road by Lindsey Buckingham. Last American Virgin, just pick which song you want to pick off of this, because this soundtrack was just like a greatest hits of the 80s, even way back when it came out, and just another just fantastic movie. Teen Wolf, probably next to Grease 2. This is the one I listen to the most, with songs like Win in the End, and I mean, so many just amazing songs on this. Love this soundtrack to death. Some Kind of Wonderful, same thing, just awesome stuff, defining movie for me back in the 80s. March Violets, Turn to the Sky, and just, I Go Crazy, Flush for Lulu. And the last one I have here is Youngblood, another great movie, Swayze, Lowe, and what was the track off of here? Stand in the Fire by Mickey Thomas. Just another awesome kind of 80s guitar track that just, all that stuff right there just brings the biggest smile to my face, which is why the 80s, you ask. And again, like I said, there's more, great 80s stuff in here as well, but it doesn't quite fit in that same category, the stuff that I have in there. So that kind of gives you an idea about some of my favorite soundtracks. Again, there's a lot of things I still would like to have. Two of the biggest on my list right now actually are probably a copy of Dumb and Dumber, which I never picked up. That's also a fantastic soundtrack. But actually getting a nice copy of Valley Girl on vinyl would definitely be one of kind of my grails right now from a soundtrack perspective. So there you go, VC. Christian, hope you enjoyed that, man. Let me know what you think. And as always, we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys.